Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Yogi Ramsuratkumar, Jaya Guru Raya. Rama 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 भगवान योगी राम सूरत कुमार की जय। सर्वं योगी राम सूरत कुमारार्पणमस्तु। This is one more opportunity to prostrate before Bhagwan. With deep gratitude. For this gift of praise, of chanting His name. We have been seeing glimpses again and again. For one thing, that it would be our sadhana. Our Gurudev has prescribed it as sadhana. If you remember even a fraction of a second that you have been with this beggar, any experience, any part of it that you find very interesting, you find very inspiring, even for a moment, if you could think, if you could recall, if you could enjoy the memory of it, be sure that this is Amrita, nectar, ambrosia. This benefit you cannot get by a rigorous tapas of 1,000 years. Please do not think that this beggar is exaggerating. This beggar is telling you the truth. This was his assurance. That's it. So Bhagwan has given us this promise that even if we recall a fraction of a second of time that we spend with Him, we would stand to benefit enormously. And the second thing is, when we go through the experience of others, it's reliving it ourselves. Today, Bhagwan, when I asked for Bhiksha, today's Bhiksha, this is what he dropped into my hands. So we shall see what this is all about. I remember reading the life of a great saint, in the Shiva tradition. His name is Tiruvannamalai. And there was another saint who was very, very devoted to this great saint, Tiruvannamalai. The devotee is known by the name Appudiyadi. Appudiyadigal would be waiting for a visit from his deity, Sri Tiruvannamalai, the great saint. And of course, when he visited, the day came when his wish was fulfilled. Sri Tiruvannamalai was there at his very doorstep. You can imagine the bliss that Appudiyadigal must have experienced. He asked his wife to prepare a grand meal. And that was done. He asked his son to go cut a leaf, a banana leaf, for serving food to their venerated guest. The boy who went to the garden to cut that, unfortunately, by a twist of fate, got bitten by a snake and died on the spot. Now, just imagine the couple, the devoted couple, who had been waiting all their life for this great opportunity of the visit of their deity. He had come to eat and the food was ready, but the boy died on the spot. What a fix it was. Now, so they somehow, they tried to hide the truth from the guest, from the divine guest. But it could not happen. The divine guest was divine. The story, there are other details to the story. For us, what was most important is the divine guest, Sri Tiruvannamalai, found out that the boy died while he made an attempt to cut banana leaf. Then by his own power of tapas, his Atma Shakti, he managed to bring the same snake that bit the boy to death. And the snake came to the dead body of the boy and sucked back the poison it injected into the body. And the boy came alive. So these great people could use anything to achieve their purpose. For them, even a blade of grass could prove to be a powerful weapon to achieve what they will. When I read this, I remember this incident. Somewhat similar. There are many other incidents as well, but today this is what Bhagavan dropped into my hand. How Sai Baba, who served Yogi Ramsuratkumar Bhagwan at Sanidhi State House, once again served in a very dramatic way. So to get to the details of the story, we shall begin from the beginning. All this were narrated by Sri Appanayengar, who used to visit Bhagwan often in the 80s. Sri Appanayengar reports that he had a friend who did not get married till the age of 40. Even his elder brother was not married. Now, the friend was in a dilemma. He so much wanted to marry, like everyone else, and lead a normal life. He wanted to raise a family. But then, when he mentioned it, that he was not getting married, it was getting delayed, Appanayengar took him to Sri Jnanananda Swami, who was still in the body at the time. Now this friend of Appanayengar, instead of coming directly to the point, begging the great Swami for the boon of a good marriage, he started to approach the subject in a very different way, in a roundabout way. He said, Swami, I think of taking voluntary retirement and then offer all the money I get from that to the ashram here, and I would like to serve. He had come all the way to ask for a marriage settlement, but instead this is what he spoke. Of course, Swami Jnanananda knew everything. Immediately he said, this ashram does not depend upon your money. And what's more, you have it in your fate to lead a married life, to live a worldly life. You cannot escape it. And then he gave him prasad and sent him away. Now, after this 2 or 3 or 4 years passed, now he was 45, he found himself still unmarried. Nothing would settle for him. So once again, he was lamented upon this to his friend Appanayengar. Then Sri Appanayengar took him to Yogi Ramsuratkumar Bhagwan Sanidhi State House. Now, Appanayengar's friend knew better, so he came directly to the point and said, Swami, Sri Jnanananda Swami gave me a promise. He said I would get married, but now I am 45 and nothing is coming to fruit. Then Bhagavan smiled, gave him a fruit and said, Jnanananda, whatever Jnanananda Swami said would definitely come true. And sent him away, and true to that, he got married soon to someone who became such a devotee of Bhagavan. Gomti is her name, And when they visited, after some time again, Appanayya's friend began to complain that he wanted a child. After all, married life is for what? To get children. Especially a boy who could serve, who could do all the rites for the ancestors. So they came together, and Appanayya said, okay, both of you come together with me and we shall see. So they came over to Bhagwan Yogi Ramsuratkumar Chanting Street House. Gomti appealed to him with a devotion, and Bhagwan smiled and he dropped some turmeric pieces and flower, a string of flowers and fruits. And then Appanayya, in a flash, knew that it was going to be a female child. Gomti took it with great devotion in her pallu. And true to Bhagwan's assurance, she conceived soon and gave birth to a baby girl. The girl was very intelligent, studied so well. She came first in the class. She proved to be very talented. Now again, Appanayya's friend began to complain. He said, look, why did I marry? To get a son? Who could do all those ritualistic rites for my parents and grandparents and my ancestors? Now what's the use if I don't get a baby boy? Now this time Appanayya said, you and your wife go there and ask Swami. So they came to Yogi Ramsuratkumar Bhagwan Chanting Street House and appealed to him again. Bhagwan said, okay, you will have a boy. He blessed them nicely, and soon she conceived, Gomati conceived, and this time it was a boy, to the great delight of his parents. And this Kannan grew up well. When he was still a boy, one day, when he was going on the street, a dog, a sick dog, I think if a dog has scabies, as they call it, then it is somewhat mad. A mad dog pounced on this little boy and bit him. Now, of course, the boy's condition became serious. He was admitted in the hospital, and they gave him some 10 injections around the navel. And still, the poison was very much there. It was not healing. What was more, he developed epileptic attacks. He got fits, and the doctors lost hope. When they expressed it to Gomti, the parents, of course, Gomti and her husband, panicked. After all these years, they've got a boy, and this is what should happen to him. What kind of blessing it is. But you see, Gomti was very devoted to Swami, that when she had gone there, Swami once gave her a photograph and said, Gomti, you cannot come often to this beggar. If you need to appeal to this beggar, if you have any prayers to make, you do it before this picture. This beggar would know, and your prayers will be granted. What a blessing. This once again gives us the assurance that wherever we keep his photo and pray before that, the prayers reach him. And the grace is unfailing. So Gomti, with folded hands and tears streaming down, prayed to Bhagwan, please save my child, save my son. And she went to sleep. Now that day, in the dream, Bhagwan had come. Bhagwan sat there on a chair and asked for some coffee. Probably she was very good at it. And she went inside the kitchen. When she brought the cup of coffee, Bhagwan had disappeared. So the next day, early morning when she woke up, she knew what to do. She and her husband, with the child, they rushed to Sanadi Street house. Now, as they entered, of course Bhagwan welcomed them. As they entered, Sai Baba, the dog, was there in the veranda. Naturally, the boy Kannan cringed behind his mother, started to cry, screamed. He was so scared of the dog. Then Bhagwan, of course, assured the boy that nothing would happen, he would be all right. So he took them inside, seated them opposite, and then after some conversation, Sai Baba, all of a sudden, came running into the house, much to the dismay of the boy. The boy again started to scream. But now, Sai Baba went straight to the boy. And what was more, it began to smell the spot where he was bitten by the dog. Just for a second or two. After smelling, it came back to Bhagwan, sat by his side, like a good boy. And immediately Gomti knew that Bhagwan had blessed him, the boy, in such a way that this dog, the dog of Bhagwan, Sai Baba, had sucked away, smelled away the remaining poison in the body. Just as in the case of Akuti Edigal, how the great saint Tiruvannamalai brought back the snake and made it suck the poison from the dead body, and the boy came alive. Here we see a dog, Sai Baba, kept by Bhagwan, came running into the hall, going straight to the boy, smelling the very spot, and returning to Bhagwan. Now all this must have been willed by Bhagwan by way of treatment to the little boy. And after that, needless to say, that the boy picked up health, and there was no more attack of fits. After some time now, the girl was also studying so well. She was in the 11th standard, she fell down and broke her hand. She was in sling for quite some time. When they removed it, she could not recover completely. The hand was still bent and there was a lot of pain. Now she had come to 12th standard and she was writing her exams and she found it very difficult with this hand. She started to pester her parents to take her to Bhagwan. So when they came to Sananda Street House, by then it was, I think it was 94, and Bhagwan had shifted from the Sananda Street House to Sudama near the ashram. So they went and stood in this queue, and when their turn came, without being told anything by her father, when this girl approached Bhagwan, Bhagwan of his own free will, he just touched her hand and said, "Oh, your hand is like this? You have not recovered completely. Is there pain?" The girl said yes. Immediately, Bhagwan was stroking the very spot up and down a few times and then asked her if there was still pain. She said, "Yes, there is still pain, but very little." And then Bhagwan stroked her hand again up and down a few times and said, "You will be completely all right, not to worry." And true to his word, the blessings worked and she became all right. She was able to write her exams well. Now, we understand from this that Bhagwan can do the miracle that she Tiruvannamalai, the great Shiva devotee, what he could do. Something similar repeated itself. It's possible. Bhagwan comes to our rescue in any way. They say even a blade of grass can prove to be a powerful weapon in the hands of a great Atman. And what's more, whatever Bhagwan said to Gomti still applies to everyone. Whenever we need, we cannot come to the ashram for some reason or the other. If we have Bhagwan's picture at home, please know that you stand before the picture with folded hands and appeal to his compassion with your prayer. You will see how it is granted. Please do not think it's only a picture of Bhagwan. It is he himself. He lives in the name. He lives in all his pictures. He could do anything. You see also how Bhairava, the Sai Baba, helped his master. Quite some time back, quite a few months back, we saw another story where Appanaigar was there, had come to see Bhagwan at Sananda Street House. A Bairagi had come from the Himalayas. He wanted to harm our Bhagwan. He was so arrogant, egoistic. He did not like the power of Bhagwan. He wanted to prove that Bhagwan was nothing, that he had more power. So in an attempt to harm Bhagwan, he started to chant the mantra for Kalabhairava. But soon what happened? To his own surprise, a humbling experience. Bhagwan stood there as Kala Bhairava himself. And what was more, Sai Baba came inside and stood by the side of Bhagwan as Bhairava, as the vehicle of the deity Kala Bhairava. Bhagwan used to say that Sai Baba was not an ordinary soul, that he had come to help his father's work. Now this Bhagwan is here right in front of us. Let us appeal to his compassion like Gomti did, and Bhagwan would do the needful. Bhagwan, we pray to you million times for your immediate divine intervention to free the entire humanity from the dreadful grip of this monster and bring back normalcy everywhere. And Bhagwan, we appeal to your compassion again to wipe out the panic from the hearts of people and arrest the spread of the disease. Enter those medicines to kill this virus, the clan, the virus, and help all those who are in need of it for lack of medication, for lack of treatment, unable to find a room in the hospitals, unable to find a cylinder of oxygen. They are in different states of distress. We beg you again to help them so that they get all they need, get well soon, and come back home safe. And again, all those great soldiers who are marching on with their labor, day and night, fighting the disease in order to save the other people, other lives. Please give them protection and all-round well-being. We also beg you for a lift to our economy. Above all, please bless us with constant remembrance of your name, continuous chanting, and give us the attitude of being an instrument in your hands, a willing and fitting instrument in your hands to go about our life as an offering to you. And above all, we beg you for that supreme blessing by which we get completely purified and our pure heart will be able to identify, spot your secret gaze, your secret smile, your gifts of grace in every happening of life. Jai Yogi Ramsuratkumar.
Yogi Ramsuratkumar